let's talk about Sandstorm. You said that your bassist came up with the concept, but was it intended to be a concept album as a whole?
Excuse me, this last word, concept what?
Was the album intended to be a concept album in its entirety?
Yeah. The story behind Sandstorm is like it's a conceptual album, more about controlling our own aggressiveness, and the Samuka exposes the philosophical dilemma of Thomas Hobbes. Wolf is wolf to man. So the whole Medjay saga is about controlling his own aggressiveness and about dealing with his inner demons and things like that. And we have parts of the album that go through a fictional story.
Mm-hmm.
I say a fictional story of this Medjay saga, where he starts in the song Medjay. He goes to the death in the house of Horus, where he has all the trouble, burns the goddess of love and everything else. And then when the album goes on, let me just get. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
No worries. We're following along too.
After the death in the house of Horus, naturally comes a revenge.
Correct.
Because a mere mortal can't go unpunished for doing such a wrong thing to a god. And then in the song "Rise for Glory," is not actually in the same time in the story, but it's about the victory and the times he goes out in battle and he returns to his family with lots of scars in his soul and in his body, bruised, beaten, but he always returned, sometimes victorious, sometimes in defeat, but he returns home. And Sandstorm, it's a more contemporary song because it talks about the Egyptian revolution of 2011. At the same time, you can transpose the message of Sandstorm to the saga of the Medjay somehow, because it actually brings to the times we're living the spirit of the Medjay people that went out on street like millions of people in Tahrir Square fighting against tyranny and was really Medjay warriors out there. So that's what inspired the song Sandstorm.
Right.
And then to close the album, Lady of the Nile, who is the closure of this first part of the Medjay saga, where the Medjay is in a place looking for redemption. He's wandering around the desert, and he suddenly sees a place of rare beauty and wonderful landscape, and he sees a woman that's Nefertiti, and he falls in love with her. So it's kind of the song ends with a question like, will the Medjay find a redemption? Will he find peace in his life? And will it be possible? And then on the next album, which is already in production, Cleopatra the Seventh.
Oh.
my God.
We're gonna have a few more chapters of the Medjay saga.
I was just going to ask you, was that a tease for the upcoming stuff that you were writing? So that's good knowledge.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we just announced on January 1st the banner with the poster with the beginning of the production of the new album. It was already in pre-production. We've composed all the songs of the album from our home studios in quarantine. We sent parts to each other with ideas, and I mixed all of it in my home studio, and we had all the songs ready by composing this way distantly, and it went just fine.
That's incredible.
Great songs, actually.
Wow.
Well, and I was going to ask
Really
you
good.
about the artwork because the artwork looks a little more modernized version when you talked about how, it talks about war and how it kind of transposes to today. It looks like that
The army tank.
yeah, with the army tank, it could be kind of transposed to today's.
Yeah, the artwork depicts the Arab Spring that happened in 2011
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
when the Egyptians took Tahrir Square,
Mm-hmm.
and that represents the people victorious against tyranny at that moment.
That's awesome.
So that's what the image depicts.
Who did the artwork for the
That's why
album?
he's called Romulo Diaz. He's also responsible for the new album. He's a very, very good designer. We're very honored to work with him because since the first art he made us was Death in the House of Horrors. It's also his.
Okay, good.
But we started working the concepts and everything. He is also responsible for the logo. For the pyramids and everything. That's all him.
Oh, good deal.
So we intend to have a very long-term agreement because we really like his work. He's a very good designer.
Very beautiful artwork.
I
Very
agree.
beautiful.
Very nice.
Yeah, and that's so. Actually, this idea about I will